Hi there, welcome to the Golf Shack down at Moralton Golf Club in Leeds. This is our review of all the best irons on the market for 2017. I'm joined by my editor, Dan Murphy.
Hello.
And what we did here was we got each brand to send us an iron which they thought was going to be suitable for me as a 17 handicap and an iron for Dan who plays off 3. So what we've ended up with here is, if you like, all the best game improvement irons and all the best irons aimed at your better player. So kicking off in alphabetical order, Dan, you were first up with the Callaway Epic Pro. What did you make of that?
Well, there's a phenomenal amount of tech in a club, as you'd expect at this super premium price point, but you can't see any of it at address, which is very unusual. Normally there's all sorts of whistles and bells, but it's a very, very simple look at address and a very pure feel. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, no, like I say, it's an expensive one. I think they retail at about £1,700, so that it's a spared no expense driver there from Callaway. And the one that I was using, you may remember from one of our previous review videos, was the Steelhead XR. This is a really nice, friendly iron, which I think will work for high handicappers 20 plus, but also going down into sort of like the low teens as well. It's got quite wide range and appeal. It's, you know, it's nice and oversized. It's chunky. It's forgiving. It's kind of doing everything you want it to do, and it's probably, you know, a little bit longer than some of the irons we tested here as well. So next up, we moved into the Cobras. Dan, you had a go with the forged one.
Yes, I did.
Interesting clubs, these from Cobra.
Yeah, they are. No, for some reason these days I tend to think of Cobra being more in the game improvement market, so you kind of forget that they make clubs that are as pretty and as stylish as these. But you can tell as soon as you sit it down that this is a company who know how to make a forged, classic looking iron. Really like the feel of these. Very, very smooth. Very, very nice to use. Yeah,
very impressed with those. And then what I used was the King F7 iron. Again, a really powerful, strong sounding sort of iron. You hit it and it sounds like it's been well hit. I really think these, again, have got quite good wide ranging appeal from, you know, anything from say 12 up to into your 20 handicaps. And the bonus that you've got with all Cobra irons with both of these is they're available in variable length and they're available in the one length. So that's just a job for you to go and see, you know, your pro or a fitter and find out if one length is for you or whether you're just going to stick with variable. But both strong irons there from Cobra. Next up then, a brand we always look forward to, and it's our irons test, and that's Mizuno. We gave Mizuno the option of the JPX 900 Tour, but what they actually went with was the JPX 900 Forged for Dan. How did you get on with that?
Well, I don't really know how they do it, but as soon as you put one of these clubs behind the ball, it just looks exactly how you want it to, and you remember how a Mizuno club looks behind the ball. Still sets the standards in terms of shape. Whichever iron in the set you look at, it always does exactly what you want it to do.
Yeah, brilliant. I really like the forged. I mean, I think the forged have got wide ranging appeal as well. I mean, I'd be tempted to those. Maybe, you know, might be struggling a little bit, and that's the reason why the irons that I went for was the JPX 900 Hot Metal. Now for me, I've been using these irons out on the course, got custom fit for these, and I've had them in the bag for a while because they're ticking all the boxes for me. I think they look superb, they've got a really nice feel to them, but they're really confidence inspiring as well. But for me, they're just a fantastic all-rounder. I definitely think there's probably more people out there that should be looking at clubs like the JPX 900 Hot Metal, maybe even if it's just into your longer irons, your 5 and 6 iron, because I think even players like Dan, once they hit them, they'll really appreciate just how good those long irons are and how much fun they are to use. So yeah, a good strong lineup from Mizuno as you'd expect. Then we're moving on to Ping, which is Dan's sort of area of expertise. Ping have actually got a new game improvement iron coming out, so they've actually sent 2 better player irons really, for which Dan's very familiar with, which is the i200 and the iBlade. Dan, you're very familiar with both of these. You've had a bit of a dabble with both, haven't you, recently?
Yeah, I have. So I carried iBlade for a couple of months at the back end of last year. Looks-wise, undoubtedly the one that you go for. Very, very nice job Ping have done of those. I think not intimidating, but also very closely related to lots of the forged irons that I've been testing today. Don't look out of place, very similar kind of proportions. For me, i200, when I look at the numbers on TrackMan, and to be honest, I didn't really need to because I knew what was happening out on the golf course. They're just that little bit more consistent, actually quite a lot more consistent. My dispersion is much tighter, a little bit longer, and obviously I'm gaming them at the moment, so they're very familiar to me. I can't personally make the case for using iBlade as much as I'd like to, so i200 does the job for me.
Yeah, both looking really good. I think Ping have definitely improved the aesthetics, I think, of their irons. They've got a lot more shelf appeal, I think, than what they used to. So I'm looking forward to testing out their new game improvement range when that comes out. So then we moved on into the Strixon, where we got the Z 565 and 765. Dan was hitting the 765, I was hitting the 565, and I think we both agree that Strixon have got some really strong irons at the moment. I mean, the 565 to me, it's not really a game improvement iron. To me, that was more of an aspirational iron, but I really enjoyed hitting that. Particularly when we were out there hitting shots into a wind, like we hit some into a wind and we hit some in downwind. I actually felt a lot happier with a club like this. I felt it gave me a little bit more control into that wind, because some of those times, those chunky, big, powerful game improvement irons into that wind, they just ballooned up for me, and they're no good at all. Fantastic downwind. I actually really enjoyed hitting that 565 down into the wind, and they've just got a really nice forged feel, haven't they, down all of the Strixon irons in this range.
Yeah, these are the sleepers, really, I think, in our test. These are beautifully constructed irons, and you can tell that just on feel and on the sound they make, and you can blend them in together, can't you? So you want that bit more forgiveness in the longer irons. You can do that for a custom fit. If you're after a custom fit set and you're a decent player, I would really recommend having a look at the Strixon products. It's really high quality stuff.
Good stuff. And then we went into the TaylorMades.
Mm-hmm.
So you were using an iron that quite a lot of tour players have been going into, like Sergio Garcia, Jason Day, and that was the P750. What do you think to those? Look pretty good. Yeah,
they look really good. One of the more compact heads that I tested today, I would say that was probably as close to a blade in terms of just the head profile, which is exactly what you'd expect for an iron of this type. I have to say that the spec of this particular one wasn't quite dialed in. I'm just waiting for my sample to come through in something nearer, and I do think in a forged player's iron, that shaft, it really does make the difference just in terms of how they feel off the club, and I would just like to reserve judgment until I've hit them in my spec. But in terms of the looks, and in terms of the way that you see guys like Sergio hitting them, they're the real deal. The only thing you'd say about this iron is that you need to be, if not a tour pro, then certainly an aspiring tour pro to get the best out of it.
Yeah, and if you're not, maybe you want to look at the iron that I hit, which is the TaylorMade M2, which is probably the most powerful iron that I've tested here. Have to say the lofts are very strong. It's got the strongest lofts on here, but it does launch nice and high because of what they've done with the technology there to keep that. They've brought that CG down to get it launching high. But if you're just someone who wants a little bit of extra distance, if you want to kind of hit 7 irons, 160, 165 instead of 155, then give these a try. There's no finesse here. They're just chunky, oversized, good fun to hit, sound really loud. I think they'll work for a lot of people if they're the things that are important to you: forgiveness and a little bit of extra distance. And then the last iron that we tested out was the Titleist Ions. Now these are the 716 irons. Been around for quite some time now, but still get a lot of use on tour. Dan, you were hitting the AP2, which your Jason Dufter and your Jordan Spieths we'll see using them. So, what do you make to these? I guess you've even hit these in our test last year, didn't you? So you're obviously quite familiar with them, custom fit to your spec.
Yeah. Lovely looking club. It's quite surprising in a test like this to see just how compact those heads are. When you think that there are 2 models underneath that, in MB and CB. All I would say about AP2 is, when you've got tour pros using them, I'm really struggling to see really why I would need to go anywhere near anything underneath there. It's a very, very compact, sleek, stylish kind of head.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that, and that's why when I've tested them both out, I put that down and then I put the AP1 down, which is an iron that I've used for quite some time now. I got fitted to these, in the launch nearly 2 years ago now. Absolutely fantastic all-round iron. This, I think there's lots more players that should be using this club. I think if you're going for a fitting and you look at your numbers on AP1 and AP2, yes, you get that looks really nice look and feel with AP2, but just the consistent performance, good shelf appeal as well. I think that we've had previous AP1 iterations that haven't looked the best, but these I think look really, really nice. You know, a good sort of mid-size. You know, if you're someone that's looking to maybe improve, I think you can use these irons and come down. So yeah, it's been, I think, probably of the 716 launch, the AP1 was definitely the standout performer for me, and it's one that I'd be more than happy to carry on using now. So real good mix there, isn't there, Dan? Of you know, different types. You know, but they're all, you know, very impressive, aren't they? It's hard to pick out favourites, because as we've touched on there, that kind of custom fit element is so crucial, particularly with your irons. If it's just getting that lie angle just right, or getting the right, you know, the shaft and head combinations. We've done tests before where you can't just assume that if you're maybe like a Project X 6.0 or whatever, then that's going to be the right shaft to go, you know, into a particular head. The lofts could be different, you know, it could be more spinny. So it really is, you know, obviously every aspect of your game is important to get custom fit, but I think with the irons it's absolutely crucial, isn't it? Yeah,
I mean, these things are fine-tuned, and they're offering you feel, and that feel can only come from the head being paired with the right shaft. So it would be a crying shame to invest several £100 in any of these sets and not get them dialed in for you.
Yeah, but two standout performers for me at my level, if you're my sort of level, 17, 18 sort of handicap. Titleist AP1, JPX 900 hot metal, they will not let you down. They're absolutely fantastic. But for me, if I was really looking to work on my game and improve, I would definitely be thinking about the Strixon Z 565s, because the feel is superb, and you know, you probably just start to maybe, you know, get a little bit more feedback and start, you know, learning to maybe shape the ball a little bit more. So that's where I'd be going. Dan, I know you're a big fan of your i200s, but if you weren't allowed to use ping for a round, where do you think you might be looking?
I'll be going over here and looking at this little Mizuno beauty. The look and the finish on that is just what I want. And when you hit a good shot with one of these, there's just something that is pure about the flight of it. So if I was, in all honesty, if I was going to use an iron of this type, I'd be rushing off to get myself a Mizuno custom fit.
Good stuff. Well, you know, apologies if you feel like we've rushed through any of these. We did have quite a few irons to get through, but that's why we've got a comment section below if you want to know any more details about these. If you want to know about the set makes-ups, SRPs, shaft options, please post a comment below, and we'll answer them at that as soon as we can. But you know, we hope you found this interesting. We hope that gives you a little bit of crucial information if you're about to go out and make that all-important purchase. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed those videos. These videos are shot down at Moralton Golf Club. It's a beautiful 27-hole golf course here in Yorkshire. If you want to come and join us in the shack, come down. We can do lessons, we can do custom fitting. We've also got a lovely shop here, professional shop, with lots of quality stock. If you can't get here, have a look on our website, jwgolf.co.uk. Lots of stock available on there. Or if you've got any questions and you want to just drop me an email, my email address is james@jwgolf.co.uk.